to my first live. I want to start doing these every single week now. I've been wanting to get back onto YouTube, posting things, and I figured that this was the best way that I could do this. So today I'm going to be making a leather passport wallet for someone. And I just kind of wanted to take you guys along with me, and hopefully you'll be making something too, and we can do that together. So I'm just going to kind of show you to start off kind of what the end product is going to look like, so you know where I'm going with this. So this is kind of what it will look like as an end product here. So we've got 2 card slots here, and then there's a pocket here and here where you can put a passport, and then also another pocket right here where you can put a plane ticket or vaccination card or whatever. I think you can even fit your passport into this pocket too, to access it easier. So this is kind of what it's gonna look like. I already have everything cut out and ready to go. I just need to burnish some of these edges. So I need to do this edge here, and then these edges here, and then along here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Just line up what I need to do. Set that aside. And you guys will have to tell me what kind of things that you want me to do for these. I can do like a silent ASMR style kind of video where I just don't talk at all and I'm just making stuff. Or I can kind of explain what I'm doing as I'm doing it. Or, you know, we could do like Q&As. I could just answer your questions as we go. What else? I don't know. I can really do anything. I'm open for anything for these. I just kind of want to start making things again and start interacting with you guys again, because I do miss that. It's just been a crazy year for us. It happens. So yeah, just like in the comments, if you're watching this later, you can go ahead and just let me know what you'd like to see, what kind of videos you'd like to see. And I can make that happen. So I've got my Tokonol here in this bottle, my varnisher. So I'm just gonna go and actually, I might varnish this back side a little bit too, or bevel it, sorry. I sanded this edge here, so it's kind of got some extra little flyaway pieces. So I'm just going to take those off on the back side. Okay. So now I can go ahead and varnish all of these. So I got my Tokonol here. Ooh. I like using this bottle because it makes it easier to kind of get it along the edges here. And that was a lot that I used. Probably too much. Definitely too much. Okay. I think we're ready to go ahead and burnish this here. Okay, and that edge looks pretty good there. Don't know if you can see that, but move on to the next piece. Okay, there's another one done. I really like using Tokonole to burnish my edges to finish them off really nicely. I know a lot of people will not even finish their edges at all, and that's kind of a cool look if you're going for more of like, you know, a rustic kind of look. I like how it looks whenever it's burnished with Tokonole. I think Tokonole has some sort of like acrylic in it or something. I don't know. That kind of puts like a little top coat on the top to seal it up. And it looks really nice. And it's not like super expensive or hard to find either. Like you can just pick it up on Amazon for a couple dollars. And it lasts quite a long time. And I know there are other people out there too that will like use edge paint on their edges. I personally do not like edge painting. It's very tedious and it takes a long time. You have to do like several layers a lot of the time and then wait for it to dry, and I just don't have the patience for that. So I prefer just doing this. I do enjoy burnishing. I think it's fun. I just feel like, you know, if you're using a really nice piece of leather, you might as well show it off instead of covering it up, like you do with edge paint. You know, if you can get a really nice looking edge doing this, then why would you paint over it? Might as well just show it off. And honestly, I kind of feel like that's something that maybe bigger brands have popularized, edge painting, because they don't use real leather, or I guess they don't use nice leather. Maybe it's real leather, but it's just cheap. So obviously for stuff like that, you're not going to get a really nice, beautiful edge like you would with nice full grain leather. So okay, this is our last piece here that we need to burnish, and then we can kind of start gluing some pieces together after this. All right, there is that. Get this out of the way. And now what we can do is go ahead and glue some of these pieces together. So I think I'm going to start off with this here. So I'm just going to line it up. And then make a little mark on either side. And I'm going to just rough up these edges real quick. All right. And then I am also going to go ahead and draw a line right here in the middle. What we're going to do is we'll glue this together along the edges here. And then we'll go ahead and stitch right along here so that we've got two separate pockets. So I've got my piece of cardstock here that I used to cut this out. So I'm just going to use this and line it up. Make a mark right down here. and then right up top. And I want to make sure that line is nice and straight. Like that. Okay, now we can go ahead and glue these together. So I like to use these for gluing. I got this from Weaver. Came in a pack of 2. I really love them because they're reusable. And this is just silicone here. And all I have to do is just whenever the glue dries on here after I'm done, I just have to peel it off. And I can reuse it over and over again. Again, you guys will have to tell me in the comments below kind of what you want to see with these lives. If you want me to talk through them and explain what I'm doing and the things that I'm using, or if you just want me to stay quiet and so you can just watch and listen, I'm up for either one, honestly. Okay. Now we can go ahead and glue these pieces together. Okay. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with these pieces here too. So we gotta line it up. And mark where I need to rough up the edges. Whenever you're putting glue on the finished side of the leather, you always want to rough it up first. Otherwise, the glue won't stick as well because this is such a smooth finished surface. So you can do this with some sandpaper. You can also do it with your Scratch-All. Really, anything that you have. I need to fill this container up with more glue. It's almost gone. The other day I was gluing some stuff and I accidentally knocked this over onto the floor and made a huge mess. All over my rug, all over the table, all over the floor. It was awful. I spilled a lot of glue. Luckily it came out though. This is a water-based glue, so I think that helped it come out of the rug really easily. I just used water and scrubbed it, and you can't even tell that anything was spilled on it now, so that's nice. It was a big mess though. Okay, now we've got that all glued down. So someone asked, what kind of glue do you use? I use, let me see what it's called, I'm not sure. I can just show it to you. This is the kind of glue that I use. I get it from District Leather Supply. It's a water-based glue. I really like it. It's not like stinky or anything, which is nice. And so far I haven't felt the need to try anything else. It's been really good. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and just punch out some holes here so we can get our 2 card slots. And then I like to go ahead and make a line here where I'm going to be stitching, where it'll just intersect with these stitches. And I like to use 4mm spacing. So I'm just going to make a little line here, like that. And what that will tell me, hopefully you guys can see that, what that will tell me is kind of where to stop these stitches coming down so they don't kind of run over them. I just think it looks a little bit more clean that way. And then I also like to have one hole that comes out past this second piece here to kind of hold it down. It just makes it a little bit more secure. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start punching. You might need to turn your volume down a little bit. Okay, so there's our stitches, our holes. We can go ahead and sew up now. Okay, I'm gonna take you guys with me over here. Take this. Hopefully this angle will work well. We'll see. I've got my stitching pony here. And then somebody asked, let's see, what kind of leather am I using? So this is leather from Buckle Guy. It is Valdebrana Vachetta. It's I think it's a 3 to 3.5 ounce leather. And I really like it. Let's see. You guys see that okay? So I'm going to go ahead and measure this out. I usually do about 4 times the length of whatever I'm sewing for the length of my thread. Okay. Come on. Okay, I'm gonna flip this around so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, and that piece is done. So go ahead and bring you guys back over here. So I can do this. There we go. Okay. So we've got this all stitched up now. I've got it ending right at about that line that I made there. And then I've got one stitch here going over the top just to hold it down so it's nice and secure there. So now what we're ready to do is just go ahead and glue these pieces down onto this back piece or front piece, whatever you want to call it, I guess. So I'm going to make a line here so I know where to glue. And I like to do that kind of just underneath the leather piece, so you won't see it and so you don't glue too far. Just like that. So you can also make sure you've got whatever side you want to be the front as well. I think I want this one to be the front. You always want to double check and make sure you're gluing the right sides, because I have glued the wrong sides before and it's not fun trying to fix that. Lots of people use Wicked and Craig. Do you use them at all? I don't. I personally, I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one who doesn't like Wicked and Craig, but I'm not a huge fan of them. I don't know. I just don't like how they finish the back sides of most of their leather with that like gum paste thing. I don't know. And it kind of makes it seem a little more fake to me, I guess. It's just a personal preference thing, really. But I like the more natural look of leather. I like having just this nice back piece that's not like finished off at all with anything. Okay. There is one side that's glued down there. Looks good. Now we just have to do the other side. Ever use any, what does that say? My comments keep disappearing. Ever use any leather weave material? Like woven leathers? I have actually tried it out. I think it looks really cool. I could probably actually show you. There's one from Buckle Guy that they got in recently that I think looks pretty cool. I think it's goat leather actually. And it's hand woven. It's been kind of fun to experiment with. I can show you what it looks like. This is it here. So if you see, it's woven there and it's pretty tight too. And then I got a piece that's backed with fabric to kind of help keep it together. And I don't know, it's kind of cool. It's a cool look if that's what you're going for. Yeah, I've never really worked with other kinds of leathers before. Usually, I just stick with good old cowhide, but yeah, it's been interesting to mess around with that goat leather. It's been kind of cool. Yeah, it is a lot more supple, the goat leather. You can move it and scrunch it up a lot easier. It's just kind of got a softer temper, which is cool. I mean, it can make like a really good just like big wide open bag that you can just throw things in. I think that's kind of something that I've been wanting to try to make with it and see how it looks. Okay, we got that all glued. So now we can go ahead and glue this down. Let's see. Okay. Looks like that piece is sticking out just a little. I didn't get the measurements exactly right. So I'm just gonna have to cut that off real quick. He started making this at the start of the stream. So I went ahead and cut all of this out, all of the individual pieces before I started this. Just because, I don't know, doing the tracing and cutting out of all the pieces is my least favorite part. And I figured you guys probably wouldn't enjoy seeing me do that for a whole hour. Or I don't know how long it takes, but so I went ahead and just cut it all out before, and then I started piecing this all together. So now we've got a nice flat edge there that's not sticking out. And we are getting there. So now, next what we need to do, basically, is just sew around these edges here, and then we need to sand, bevel, and burnish around the outside, and we will be pretty much done. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut off these corners. I usually just do them by hand and then even them out whenever I sand them. Just like that. So now we've kind of got some more rounded edges there. And I usually do the sewing first, just personal preference thing. And then afterwards I go around and sand, bevel, and burnish after that. So I've got my 4mm spacing here on my wing divider. Okay. And I usually like to just plan out where I'm going to be punching the holes, just to make sure I can get around these corners all right. Okay. So I've got them kind of planned out over on this side. I'm going to go ahead and punch them out. And again, I'm just putting one of these right kind of over the edge of this to kind of help it stay down. Sorry, I didn't warn you guys. Maybe you have to turn down the volume. So for those of you that are coming on now, I'm making a passport wallet right now. And I am planning on doing these lives every week now. Every Saturday for now, at least. So be sure to check in every week. And if you guys have any questions for me, you can feel free to ask. Let me know what kinds of things you'd like to see in these lives. If you want them to just be like silent videos, or maybe like Q&As, or I can do how-tos, how to hand stitch, how to make patterns, I don't know, anything. I'm open to ideas. I can also just not say anything at all and have it be silent. See, every Saturday around the same time, watching crafting over on Twitch. Are there people that do leather crafting on Twitch? I haven't really done much on there. I'm a novice myself, being able to ask questions. Yeah, so my plan is to be able to do this every Saturday. I'll probably keep doing them around the same time, around noon Central Time. I mean, that might change in the future. I may switch to a different day. I don't know. We'll see. But for now, yeah, I'm planning on doing them every Saturday, probably in the morning, early afternoon. So I'd love for you guys to come join me. And if you're making something, you can make with me. We can all make something together. We can ask questions and learn from each other. I always love learning new things. Leathercraft is something that you can just never stop learning in, I think. You can always learn new things. There's just so much to it that you can keep practicing on, and you can keep trying new things. So it's really fun. Let's see. Yeah. Hopefully I'm not getting my head in this. Whenever I'm doing some things, I like to get my head like right down next to it so I can see really well. I finished my first tote bag for the wife just last night. She loves it, of course. As the maker, I see the several flaws. Yeah. Each flaw is a learning experience. That's true. That's really true. I always look back on everything that I make and I nitpick everything. And I think, oh, I didn't do that right, and I could have done that better. I should have done this that way. And I even do that when I look back on my older YouTube videos that I've made. I look at them and I'm like, what was I thinking with that? But it's all just a process. So it's really cool that you can make a tote bag. It can be kind of intimidating making bigger things out of leather at first, because I mean, you're using leather. Leather's not always cheap, and you don't want to mess up, and you don't know what you're doing. But it's fun. I've had my husband try out many different wallets and things. And I think he can probably attest that I've gotten a lot better over time as I've practiced. At first they weren't that great. But every leather crafter has to start somewhere, I guess, so. See. I recently finished a simple card wallet for a customer and gave the wife the prototype. She thinks it's super cute when she does it. Yep. Yeah, so that's kind of how it works for me too. I give myself and my husband all of the prototypes that I make. And then I save the better stuff for customers. In fact, I have a crossbody bag that I've been using for a few months now. That's a prototype, so it's not that great. But like honestly, you really should make some new things for yourself, so that whenever people like compliment, like I've had a few people compliment my purse, and um, it's kind of fun because I can say, "Oh, thanks, I actually made it," and they're like, "Wow, really, you made it?" Um, and if you have a prototype to show them, then it's not your best work because it's the first time you made something. So for me, it can be a little embarrassing sometimes because I know it's not perfect. But of course, they probably don't see that. But it can also be good to try and, I don't know, make sure you've got some nice quality products that you've made as well that you can show off to people and not feel quite as ashamed at the quality. It's just kind of hard to do that sometimes. We've all got limited time. Alright, we've got all of our punches made. I'll be out and about. My craft comes up, and the only things I have on hand are the one-offs. Yeah. Yep. Just gotta remember that, people aren't more than likely gonna look at every single little detail of what you're showing them like you would, because obviously you're always a lot more critical of your own work than other people are. So I just try and remember that, even though it's hard sometimes. Okay, so it's been about an hour. Are you guys interested in seeing me completely finish this out? I could keep the live going until I'm done with it. I just have to sew this and then bevel and burnish, or we can go ahead and end it here. Just depends on what you want, I guess. One singles, yeah. Yeah, I can be very, very picky with myself. But I mean, that's how you get better too, as well. Like you gotta kind of nitpick your stuff at least a little bit so that you can improve what you're doing. Thread. Okay. Got my thread all cut out now. I've been trying to home my saddle stitch and I've I'm obsessed with trying to get even and equal slants on both sides. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of, it takes some practice. I mean, I can't say that I'm always perfect with getting the nice slant on both sides. Sometimes it does end up looking straight on the back side. I don't know, I guess I haven't noticed lately what it looks like. I can't show you the back of this piece, I guess. I think I usually get a pretty decent slant on the back side, but it's nowhere near like as slanted as these stitches are, if you can see them. I think it kind of comes down to like personal preference and what you prefer. It's definitely taken me some time to get better at saddle stitching. Forward very left side. Yeah. Honestly, I think that hand stitching is one of those things that like I think everybody does it slightly differently. And like I know I do it differently from other leather crafters just a little bit. Um and yeah, I kind of just take some practice to hone it down. Like I figured out what I like to do. And I could do a live showing that if you wanted actually. Maybe I could do that next week. And just kind of explain how I do it so that, I mean, maybe it won't work for you, but it works for me. So I would be willing to share that so that you could try it out if you want. I probably wouldn't do it today though. It'd have to be another week just because that can take some time. I think a lot of it also can be like the pricking irons that you use too, I think. That can kind of determine like the look of your stitches as well. So depending on what you're using. Okay. All right, I think I am going to go ahead and end this live here. And then I can kind of finish this on my own time. And then you guys just let me know. I'm going to have this posted to my channel. And you can let me know in the comments what kind of things you'd like to see in these lives. If you have any suggestions, I'm super open. And yeah, thanks for joining me today. And I guess we will be seeing you next week.